It's time!
I'm a champion now. If you thought I was a pain in the ass before, you got no idea what you're in store for.
Who the fuck is that guy?
The Doctor and the Driver podcast
starts now.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. Thanks for listening. This episode is brought to you by Schismatic Industries. Schismatic Industries is a gi and no-gi jiu-jitsu apparel company designed to make you perform and look your best on the mats. For this episode in particular, we'll be having Lachlan Giles on the podcast. As you know, Lachlan Giles, or if you don't know, now you know, took third place in the absolute division of ADCC, widely known as the best no-gi grappling tournament in the world. I don't know who would disagree with that. And the only thing that I believe stopped him from taking first was he didn't have a Schismatic Industries rash guard on. So that's where you messed up, Lachlan. That's where you messed up. All jokes aside, the owner of Schismatic Industries, his name is Sean McCleary. He had a grappling match, a gi grappling match this last Friday on Flow Grappling at Fight to Win 148. I thought he did really well. He did not come through with the win. I'm sure he's a lot harder on himself than, most people would be hard on him. I thought he did a great job, great performance. Very exciting match, sweeps, escapes, blah, blah. It was very exciting. Anyways, he is the owner of Schismatic Industries, really good guy. Started this, I assume, from scratch. Hopefully we'll have him on in the future, maybe even next week, fingers crossed. Anyways, go support him and his company, Schismatic Industries. You can find his apparel company at Instagram handle at Schismatic. Is it _ Industries? Yes. At Schismatic _ Industries, spelled SCHISMATIC _ Industries. And his website is schismaticindustries.com. Go get yourself some great jiu-jitsu apparel. My favorite rash guards, for sure, hands down. The gis are great, too. So check it out.
All right.
All right. So we're live. How you doing, Alex?
We're live. I'm doing good. How are you? See, you got tan. Being at the lake. You're a lake guy now.
I've been a lake guy.
Are you a boat guy? You got a boat?
I don't have a boat. I'd like a boat.
What kind of boat? Speedboat? Pontoon boat? What?
I'd like a speedboat. I'd like a speedboat, I think.
I like
pontoon
boats.
I wouldn't care.
I would never have a boat to like whip around. Like if I had a boat, it'd be to like drink and fish on. So.
No, that's true. Yeah, but I feel like you could do that from any boat. You know what I mean? That's why not?
It's nicer on a bigger boat.
Okay. Yeah, I'm with you then. That's what I would like then.
Yeah.
That's what I would like.
Pontoon
But I mean, yeah, I go there, take my kid there. We just hang out. He gets to play in the sand and shit, and I just sit there in my chair.
So it's like lake sand, so not sand.
Sure, whatever. It's not.
Where
rocks.
do they get it?
What do you mean?
Where do they get the sand?
I don't know. It's on the ground.
Yeah, but it's not naturally made there.
Okay. I don't know.
I don't know, dude. Maybe there's a plaque when you go to the fucking lake that explains it. Maybe you read it.
It seems pretty natural.
I don't know about that. I feel like they have to put sand in there.
I mean, maybe it's just like a small little beach area where it's sand, but it's like rocky sand. It's not like beach sand. It's all like coarse sand. It's just like hell, it might be dirt for all I know. Whatever.
Yeah. I let them go in there and have a ball,
Yeah. I mean, we build sandcastles in it, so maybe it's dirt castles, but it works.
Is it busy?
Oh my God, so busy.
People social distancing?
Super not.
No.
They weren't following the 6 feet policy. They were possibly following the 6-inch policy.
Yeah. Well, now it's 8 feet, so.
Oh, is it? Okay. Well, they were probably everyone was probably 8 inches away from each other.
That's good.
So that counts, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just one little extra apostrophe or one fewer apostrophe, right? Isn't feet like 8 and then 1 apostrophe, and inches is 2, right? If you're abbreviating it. Pretty confident on that,
I
Alex.
think you're right.
Pretty confident
Wow.
on that.
You're a big grammar guy.
I don't know if that's grammar,
Would
but
that
I
be
am a
considered
grammar.
math or grammar?
I think that would be considered English.
Which falls in grammar.
I don't think so. Grammar is more like spelling and the right way to. Okay, maybe it would be grammar because I guess punctuation,
Yeah.
grammar, whatever. I am a grammar guy. That's true. Thanks for a guy dumb as me. The one thing I got. I got all my brain is filled with grammar.
Yeah, with grammar.
Like, I wanted to write a book for like ever.
I remember you're gonna write your own. You're on like chapter 8 of your life story or whatever at one point.
Yeah, well, I was when I was young, but now I realize no one wants to hear my life story. No one wants to hear my life story. But I mean, like fiction. I would like to write a fiction book.
Yeah.
I used to like. Obviously, I have no need to write now, but like in school, like I loved writing fucking essays and shit. I loved it.
Yeah, you used to like writing movie reviews.
I like writing. Yeah, that would be what I want to do, but that's not writing a book. I want to write a fiction book, like maybe a scary book or something.
Yeah.
Like a horror book and then turn it into a movie, write the script. Hell yeah. That'd be dope.
Damn. Hell yeah.
That'd be dope.
Yeah.
But anyways, thanks for tuning in to the show. This is a special episode, but there's a disclaimer in the beginning of the show. So right now it's Sunday. The fights, Whittaker versus Till fight happened last night. However, as you can tell from the title of the show, we're joined by Lachlan Giles. He joined us yesterday, right before the fight started, because we told him Sunday and we were dumb. And his son, our Saturday night was
our
his
Saturday night is his Sunday. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, whatever time Sunday, dude, you want to do it? We were chatting back and forth, and he was like, okay, Sunday at 10 a.m. for me would be great. Come to find out, that was 8 p.m. for Alex, 5 p.m. Saturday for me. So, yeah. But anyways, so we couldn't finish the show yesterday, obviously, because the fights hadn't happened yet. So you're going to get a blast from the past. And so, yeah, we had a really good interview. I think you'll really enjoy it. If you don't know who Lachlan Giles is, 2019 ADCC bronze medalist in the absolute division, which is very impressive. He's a small guy. I'm not sure his weight class. I think like 150, and absolute is open weight. So he was just taking down all the giants, all the big guys. To take third place, the only person he lost to was Gordon Ryan, who everyone basically, I think even Lachlan considers the best in the world. So very impressive. Just without a doubt, one of the best. If you technically the third best open weight grappler on planet Earth. So I think you'll enjoy. We got some really interesting MMA and jiu-jitsu stuff we talked about, rule set, everything. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Lachlan Giles. Lachlan, what's up, buddy? How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good, man. So we'll introduce
Time's
ourselves.
8 p.m.
It's
right?
it's 8 for Alex, who's the other guy, not me. That's Alex.
I'm on the East Coast high.
Very good.
I'm on the West Coast.
Oh, nice. Cool.
Yeah. So I'm Gage. That's Alex. Welcome. Thanks for coming on, man. We'd love to talk to you.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Let's see. Where are we going to start? Well, first off, I told him I told him I'd say hey for him. We have a guy who has a company called Schismatic Industries. They sponsor our show. They do jiu-jitsu apparel. The guy who started the company, his name is Sean McCleary. He competed last night at Fight to Win. He's a big fan of yours, so he just had to say hi for him.
Oh, awesome. Thank you very much.
So we want to say hi. How you doing? Have you trained yet today or anything?
Not today, no, but it's Sunday here, so it's my I'm having
Okay.
one day off a week at the moment, which is Sunday. Every other day, I'm trying to get some
Oh.
training in. But obviously, it's with the corona, like our gym's not open, so it's basically just like private kind of
I gotcha.
Yeah,
training.
in the underground.
Yeah, that's right.
How many guys are you getting together with?
It's just a small group. Like there's like 3 or 4 of us that are just training together
Okay, cool.
as a group. And but that's okay. I mean, it's actually in some ways it's a better form of training. I think just because I think you learn really well when you have the same reactions happening and you have to kind of adapt. There's some things that you struggle with and you have to learn how to overcome them. Whereas sometimes if sorry, coffee's coming. There we are.
There
Thank
you go.
Yeah, it's the morning for you.
It's the morning, man.
Yeah.
I got quite the opposite of coffee
Yeah,
over here.
we've been doing other things.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I think that is really good. And whereas compared to just like when you roll and you change partners every 5 or 7 minutes or however long your rounds are, you often don't encounter the same problem again throughout the rest of your session, which can be it means you might not adapt and learn to it. So I actually think there's some really good positives to that.
So you're running into the same guy has the same, good setup or something that's giving you problems. You have to figure it out. You mean?
Yeah, exactly. And even like you might have a move that's working really well, and eventually they're going to get frustrated enough with it that it'll frustrate them enough that eventually they come up with the good counter, and then that's how you evolve. Then you have to work out how to stop their counter, and then they'll stop. I think you get good evolution there. I actually think that's why there seems to be a very big overrepresentation of twins doing well in jiu-jitsu. Twins and brothers. Like you got the Meow brothers, the Ribeiros, like I guess the Gracie family, but there seems to be a lot of twins that do well, and I think that's probably a big reason because they kind of like they learn to counter each other and then build along that, and that's how like a whole game and a system can kind of evolve. That when you go and compete, the other people don't have that same depth to their game.
Oh, that's an interesting way. And with a small group, you're getting something that's good. Let's see.
At least trying to make the most of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Turn it into a positive. Yeah.
Yeah. It wouldn't be as good if you came out here and said, "Yeah, it's terrible."
Yeah. I have so I'm just curious, when did you start doing jiu-jitsu?
What year? I was about 15 years old, so it's like 17 years ago.
Okay.
Years ago, maybe.
So it kind of rolls into another question. It seems like to me, at least, so Australia, you guys have been, Brazil, that was kind of the birthplace, but it seems like the rest of the world has at least caught up. I mean, I think it's fair to say you're one of the top jiu-jitsu practitioners in the world. We can say that. If anyone else disagrees, fuck them, we can say that. But I'm just curious, Australia itself, is jiu-jitsu something that you see are you guys kind of your own little, weird club that just has prospered so much? I mean, there's you and then there's Craig Jones. Do you think kind of culture in Australia has just embraced jiu-jitsu, or is it something where it's still kind of in the underground and just you guys have just been killers at it?
It's definitely grown in popularity. I think it'd probably now be similar to how it is in the US, like the amount of clubs there are. That's my best guess for that anyway. But I'm quite sure that it'd be similar to the US in terms of popularity. I think it's always been a big issue as a competitor from Australia. That it's such a long way to travel to do something like the World Championships. It's a 14-hour flight to get to Los Angeles. So you get people who go and compete, but it's hard to compete regularly. I think an important thing for up and coming competitors who kind of have aspirations of doing well is that they're going to want to do the big competitions, the Pan Ams and Europeans and all those sort of tournaments or ADCC trials is a different thing because that's kind of regional, but having like a large array of tournaments that you can do in the US I think is a big advantage for people who want to compete and kind of see where they're at and see where they want to take it to a higher level. Whereas I think in Australia, you get, because we're kind of stuck in this bubble here, it can be hard for people to see how their potential and how good they could get. But I think now having, with Craig's success and Kit and Levi, and obviously I had a good run at ADCC myself, but I think that's probably inspired a lot of people to see that it is possible from Australia to get to the level, you can train in Australia, get to a level where you can compete with those guys internationally, which I think it's an important mindset for people to have. So I think we'll probably see a lot more over the next few years.
If your ADCC run didn't do it, then I don't know what will, because that's what turned me on to you in the first place. Just seeing ADCC.
Yeah, I watched their highlight tape. There was quite a bit of you in there. So
me with a stunned look on my face.
This might be a stupid question. Did you only compete in the absolute division for ADCC?
No, I did my division. I had Lucas Lepre first round, so I lost that match.
Okay.
He took my back towards the end of the match. So.
And you just went on to slay all the giants.
Yeah. Better at people fighting bigger than me than my own weight, I guess.
That's hilarious. So I have a question about, speaking of ADCC, about it being a spectator sport. So to summarize what I have up here, I was like, if I had to guess, I would say, upwards to 90 or more % of people who watch grappling are grapplers themselves, whereas other sports, not necessarily true. People can be general sports fans and not necessarily play the sport. Most people don't log on to Flow Grappling and watch grappling events unless they're a grappler themselves. Do you think it'll always be that way, or do you think maybe grappling, if they made the leap to, say, ESPN or something where people could stumble upon it, do you think that would catch more eyes and gain popularity? Obviously, it's gaining popularity, but I think it's just because more people are getting into the sport.
Yeah, I think you're always going to run. I mean, I'm trying to think of a complex sport like that. Like wrestling, I would say wrestling's very well established around the world. It's, but I still think for wrestling, most of the people who watch it are people who at least have wrestled a little bit when they were younger or something. Like it's obviously you've got those even in countries like Kazakhstan and so on, where obviously it's pretty much every kid does wrestling in school. So obviously I think due to that, if they watch a wrestling match, they're going to be somewhat familiar with what's happening, and that might be why it's such a popular sport in those kind of Eastern European and or Asian sort of countries, Russia and so on as well. But I don't see it. I know my wife Liv, who's a jiu-jitsu black belt now, but she's told me the story. She went to because we had the Sydney Olympics in 2000. And she was there, but the only event she could get a ticket to was the wrestling, and she wasn't training any martial arts then. And I think she went, and then after about 20 minutes left.
Oh, really?
She was bored, which is crazy because I think it's I personally think it's wrestling's perhaps the most exciting sport there is, more so than submission grappling. Actually, I think it's got more. Oh. But maybe as submission grappling grows and as the rule set continues to be refined, I think you could make it. It could definitely. I think it definitely can be exciting, but I don't think unless you understand the nuance of the technique, it's not. I don't think it's too exciting then.
Oh, Alex, I'm a jiu-jitsu practitioner. Alex is not, but he watches them with me, and he seems to enjoy it.
Okay. Oh, there you go.
I mean, I've learned just from, watching mostly, MMA and UFC, Bellator. You pick up Gage's, introduced me to the world of kind of especially the UFC Fight Pass, being able to see, the, what's the one that's the team one, Gage? That one was exciting where it was Team UFC.
Quintet.
Yeah,
Quintets.
Those are cool because that'd be more of wrestling, like you said, sometimes I always enjoyed like I wrestled in high school, and wrestling team matches were very exciting. Like I wasn't very good at wrestling, but my team was good, which was fun. So it's kind of like that camaraderie where it's an individual out on the mat, and depending on what they do also affects the team. So like it's kind of that part of where you get to, when if you're down 6 points in a match and if a kid gets a pin, you win. Like that's a big deal, and it's kind of that excitement factor.
Yeah.
So I kind of like the team aspect of jiu-jitsu, even though it's not so much points, but like, if one guy is able to take out 2 people, that's a huge thing for your team. Like, so that's where I come from with it, and I mean, Gage is trying to get me into it. I'm sure eventually I'll cave. Just some more, which I watch it.
Do you think your wrestling background, even having some level of grappling in the background, might predispose you a bit to it? But yeah, I suppose it'd be something if I think if you watch and pay a lot of attention to what's going on, you can probably get right into it as well. I think as a very casual fan who's just kind of watching people grapple, but without any insight into the techniques they're trying to do, at least, would be tough, I think. But yeah.
Speaking of that, Eddie Bravo seems to think that if jiu-jitsu were to take off, you got to get rid of the gi as far as a spectator goes. Do you think that's probably true? Because the gi game, yeah. I know you're a big fan of the gi game. Also no gi, but with the collar ties and it's obviously it's a much slower game. Do you think that would be harder for a casual person to get interested in?
Absolutely, yeah. If it's going to be a spectator sport, if it heads in that way, then I think the gi is going to phase out. I already see that with the flow grappling things that are on at the moment, and the events. I tend to find if it's a gi match that I'm much less excited to watch it. It's just more likely to end up in some sort of tie-up where there's very difficult for someone to progress the position. It's very difficult to escape from. Usually in no gi, if someone can't progress the position, they can back out and come in from another angle. They can disengage.
They're not stuck.
For the most part. So I think, and it's just I think it's actually easier to see what's going on as well. Sometimes the gi actually just gets in the way of where the grips are and what kind of who's got what, and no gi tends to be a bit easier for that from a spectator point of view too, and it's a bit faster. So I definitely think I do think that's actually I think that's what will drive no gi to eventually be more popular than gi is actually those events like what's on flow grappling. I think the top guys people want to see the best guys compete, and they're going to continually be asked to compete in no-gi, and that's going to start driving, them to practice more no-gi, and then that will start causing the whole, I guess, world to shift more towards a no-gi style, which I like the gi as well. So they each have, but it is very different what I will be focusing on in my training, whether it's gi or no-gi.
Sure, that makes sense. I mean, I love rolling in the gi myself, but I'm 100% with you. If it's a gi match, like on flow grappling or something, I'm significantly less excited about it. Speaking of, what did we just talk about? We were talking about
the rules.
The rule set. What's your favorite rule set?
ADCC rule set is my favorite. There's some things I would like to change a little bit, but that's definitely my favorite. It's definitely the best to prepare for, like to train for, because I think it really tries to make you, like, every part of your game you kind of need to work. You need to work your takedowns, you need to work your guard, you need to work your passing, you need to work your leg locks and understand that style of game, and your back takes and finishes. And I think just about every other rule set, at least in your training and preparation, you can almost just ignore part of it. Like if you go IBJJF rule set, you can basically go, I'm not going to play the stand-up game at all. I don't have to know any takedowns. I'm just going to pull guard immediately. Whereas if you try that in ADCC, then if it goes to overtime, then you're stuffed. You're going to lose. You're going to give up a point. So, and obviously IBGF doesn't really, or doesn't at all encourage learning how to do heel hooks as well, which I think is a big area that's missing. So ADCC for that. I probably just the main thing I don't like about ADCC is that that the rules change in the final compared to the regulation,
which is strange, right?
Yeah, that's because I actually think what encourages action is that no points period in the first half of the match where you can try anything you want.
You can be riskier.
Yeah, but then the problem is that because there's the in the final that's then a negative point for pulling guard, you end up with these slower, it often becomes, whoever wins ADCC is often the best wrestler. It favors that a bit more, whereas I think it should be the same. I personally think it should be the same throughout, but that's obviously for whatever reason they've got their rules and that's how it is. They used to be a bit lax on the stalling calls, but now they seem to have picked that up, which I think was there was some years where I thought ADCC matches were quite slow and perhaps got
maybe that's why
being boring, because that's like people would be standing and just pretending to shoot a takedown, or just standing doing nothing for a good 10 minutes, whereas now I think they're a lot more aggressive on the stalling calls. I think it should continue that way. I think it should end up having to be almost like wrestling, how active you have to be in the stand-up, and I think that would be amazing. That's probably they're the only things I think I'd like to see change in ADCC, but overall it's my favorite rule set.
You don't think they could do I guess with that many competitors it'd probably be too hard to do like a no time limit sub only match? At least, how about for the finals? Yeah, how about for the finals?
Yeah,
like that or no?
You could do that. That would be an interesting final, like no time limit sub only. I just don't know how long. Like I honestly could see it could be possible some matches go for like 3 hours or 4 hours. For the viewers, that would,
Yeah.
It can be, it could come down to a war of attrition more so than technique. That's my biggest issue with pure submission only. Like it's awesome if it finishes within 20 minutes, but I think when it goes past 40 minutes, then it's
the better conditioned guy.
Yeah, or even becomes like who gets bored and tries to take a risk, but actually that fails. It's usually, it really almost discourages risk-taking behavior. That sort of rule set, I think. So, like as I said, if it finishes in a decent amount of time, sub only is the best way to go.
Yeah, I know Gordon Ryan's very open about that. That's his preferred rule set. I'm not sure.
His second favorite is EBI, but I think that's because that suits him.
Yeah.
Personally, for me, EBI is, I don't like training for it because you're kind of forced to work a lot of, I remember training for EBI and I'd have, for like 20 minutes, someone trying to armbar me and kept trying to get out. And that's just terrible. It's like not an enjoyable training session at all.
Right.
And then, obviously but again, people will, like it or not, people will always try to game the rules to win.
Of course.
Like, it sucks, but for example, if you beat Gordon Ryan in EBI by fastest escape time, if you won all your matches by being faster at escaping from the back, it's still, people are going to go, you beat Gordon Ryan, like you won, like that's considered a huge thing, like about not necessarily that you how you won, but even just that you beat Gordon.
Yeah.
That would be it's not necessarily a reflection of the overall skill set, because Gordon Ryan, we're using Gordon as obviously the top guy, but if he's the best grappler, you want to have a rule set that shows that he's the best grappler, not someone who happens to be faster at escaping the back and does nothing during regulation and then just kind of forces it into that area. That's it. I think the EBI rule set does favor Gordon because his back attacks are excellent. That's probably his strongest area. So that might be why he likes it the most. It is good for spectators. I would say EBI is a good rule set for spectators in terms of like
Yeah.
it's final. You know, you get to see a shootout. I just think
Yeah.
for competitors, it's not as rewarding in terms of, you know, I don't think it's necessarily a true reflection of who was the better grappler in terms of who wins.
That's good. Makes sense. You had to learn, unfortunate, how Gordon Ryan's back attacks were, didn't you?
Yeah, that's right.
You had him in some trouble with those leg entanglements. I watched your I believe it's on YouTube. Your
Yeah.
real
The
long.
break.
That was an incredible video, man. That was super good. All the intricacies of the leg entanglement. And I guess he blew it off, didn't he? Like, he didn't really have anything. Is that what it was?
Yeah. So he was sort of saying that after the match, he said a few things, and I was like, well, I'll make a video on what was happening, because I thought I did well in these. Obviously, I didn't catch him, so.
I thought you did extremely well.
Yeah, but I thought I had a very good. There was a lot of things I was working, especially in the lead up to ADCC, which were different to what people were doing at the time, I think. So it was cool to see that stuff work on someone, obviously a leg locker at the level of Gordon, you know, to get in and get my, you know, most of the way through my sequences towards the leg lock, but that obviously didn't happen.
Who do you think is the best leg locker in the game?
I haven't rolled with enough to say. I mean, I think like Craig's doing excellent. Craig seems to be Craig Jones, obviously, doing really well. So you could put Craig there. I think Eddie Cummings is one that comes up, but he's not really competing now. You haven't seen him compete for a few years.
Right.
But I mean, from what I've heard from people who roll with him, he's excellent. He's very precise and particular about what he's doing. So I'd love to actually, go down there and roll him, and just I'd for a lot of these people, instead of like having a match, I'd much rather have like a 1 hour roll where you can kind of try different angles and different positions, and
right.
I'd rather there be 20 taps, but you kind of get to see where all the boundaries are for each of the positions and submissions we're using and what's working and what's not. Sometimes one match can be a hard way to determine what, which system or direction you should be going with the leg lock. So it'd be really cool to get down there and have a roll with Eddie.
Hell yeah.
Might be a long time before that happens, though.
Unfortunately, right?
Yeah.
Alex, do you have anything, or let me keep asking?
Yeah, I just want to. You personally, I read you have a PhD in physical therapy,
physiotherapy. Yeah, in Australia, it's actually, I think most of the world it's physiotherapy, and in America it's physical therapy. But yeah, so I did that. I finished that about 3 or 4 years ago.
Do you work currently, or is it all jiu-jitsu?
Right now, it's all jiu-jitsu. I was working up until it kind of dropped off over the last. Well, once I finished, I was working while I was doing my PhD, like a little bit. That was part-time as a physiotherapist, and then it kind of dropped off slowly as I was having more success with jiu-jitsu, and because I obviously coached jiu-jitsu as well. So as the gym was growing and that was becoming a better financial option for me, I definitely I prefer jiu-jitsu over physiotherapy. Like if I can work as a jiu-jitsu coach, I'd much rather do that. So that's where it was headed. So
in the U.S., there's kind of silos of it. There's like, hospital. I'm gonna guess you were probably like sports focused.
Yeah. So private practice. So it's basically actually. Well, I mean, you learn everything. Like the degree is I could work in a hospital or a rehab center or something, but I was doing private practice where basically someone comes in with some sort of injury or pain somewhere, and your role is to try to diagnose it and treat it and give them exercises to try.
Do you think that helped you at all in jiu-jitsu? Kind of like learning. I mean, you guys had to know everything about every muscle. I went to school, so I'm a licensed pharmacist in the U.S. In my school, we were like a group, like pharmacy, PT, PA, like physician assistant, all together. So like I kind of saw what all the PTs were doing. It's all muscle. So kind of you, like we engaged, were kind of talking before, like, yeah, he learned all about the muscles, then figured out how to destroy them almost.
I definitely think it helps to understand. I actually think it helps quite a bit for injury prevention, just knowing what the common injuries are, like what, and what stresses and strains will lead to those injuries. I think is a huge factor in, I've been training for, as I said, about 17, 18 years. So I'm 34 now. And I think to be able to compete at a high level at 34 after training for that long is probably less common than more than it would be, in terms of most people. I think after that much training would probably have had enough injuries to stop them. So I think just having an understanding of the way the body moves and how to avoid injury is probably a big factor in longevity. Does it help with? I mean, I think to a certain degree it helps with technique. Just I think with the leg locks, there's certain angles, and you know what structure when you know what structure you're targeting, you can probably be slightly more precise. But I also think jiu-jitsu does a very good job at working that out itself in terms of like you just
Ouch,
by training.
Yeah.
I would say actually that the jiu-jitsu would have helped my physiotherapy quite a lot as well. A lot of physiotherapy is about being able to test and feel like whether a ligament someone has been injured or not. Like, so you're basically testing like how lax it is. So how much give there is in a joint a lot of the time, to see whether there's any ligament damage. And I think by doing jiu-jitsu, you get a great ability to control people's limbs and kind of isolate movement and actually develop a feel for something like that. So I think they probably both help each other a bit, but not too much. You can be good at either without having done
Yeah.
You have to be a black belt in jiu-jitsu before you get your degree.
Yeah, that's right.
I have a two-part question about leg locks. Forgive me for forgetting the video. I was watching one of your YouTube videos. It might have been a knee bar setup. I don't remember. But again, it's a two-part question. I think in the video, and I could be wrong, I'm pretty sure you don't allow your white belts to drill leg locks, unless that's wrong. And then also, second part, what do you think of heel hooks in the gi?
Yeah, okay. So our white belts get to practice and drill leg locks, but we don't do them in rotational leg locks, so heel hooks and so on. We don't do them in training at white belt in terms of enrolling.
Okay.
The reason, I think it's probably because I guess if someone puts you in a heel hook and you don't know what, it's one of those submissions where it can be hard to tell you're caught in it, and then like you can get injured. So if a white belt gets put in a heel hook and they don't know what it is, there's a good chance they get injured, and it can be a reasonably severe injury. That can be something that affects them long term. So it's not something I really want happening. I guess my rationale is, if we wait till blue belt, I think every blue belt should at least know what a heel hook is. Like, I'd be surprised if there was any blue belts around that couldn't recognize that, that's a heel hook. So at least by putting that cut off, it means no one's going to heel hook someone who doesn't know what's happening to them. And then it's kind of your own fault. Like it's partly your own fault. If you get caught in a heel hook and you don't tap and try to get out, then it's that's your own ego or whatever that's caused you to be injured. Of course, some training partners put them on fast, but I still think if you're aware of what it is, you should have time to tap. So that's my rationale for that. Second part was, what was the
heel hooks in the gi?
Yeah, I don't train heel hooks in the gi only because there's no rule set that I might compete in that would allow that. But I think they should allow them, really, shouldn't they? I mean,
I think so. That's why I wanted to ask you.
yeah, I think maybe at a certain belt, but like maybe they say from purple belt up or brown belt up, but people,
Sure.
like we're at a certain point, you're allowed to do a steamer locks at brown belt, which to me are a lot more dangerous than a heel hook. You've got like no time to. If someone puts you in a steamer lock, usually it's either broken or you're out. There's very little time to tap if that's applied fast. So
Yeah.
if you can do that, then I don't see why you can't do a heel hook, which I think actually gives you a little more time to recognize that.
That's perfect. Let's see.
That might get me competing in the gi a bit more.
Yeah, there you go. I'll talk to some people, Lachlan.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Let's see. So I watched an interview recently. Craig Jones said you might be done competing. Is this did he spill the beans or is he full of it?
Did he say that?
Yeah, I think if Flow Grappling posted it, he said after the ADCC run we might not see him again.
Oh no. Well, my plan is I'm definitely going to be doing ADCC 2021. We'll see with Corona, it's hard to kind of we're basically locked down in Australia at the moment, so we can't get out until they tell us we can. So it'll be, I think, at least a few months before I'm able to. In the lead up to ADCC, I will do a few tournaments.
Okay.
Because I think it's kind of a very bad idea to try to do a big tournament without a few smaller ones to get you used to the nerves and test out all the things you've been working on up until then. So
you just pop in the small time tournaments and beat up on those poor people?
Yeah, I mean, I could do some super fights as well. Yeah, I suppose it'll probably be a little bit of a mix of both because there'll be some new stuff that I'm trying to add to my game that I want to comp test, and then comp testing that in the middle of a big super fight might be difficult. So there might have to be a couple of smaller ones to kind of to do that, and then maybe a super fight or two.
Okay.
In the lead up, but I mean, really, to me, I personally don't really like the super fights. To me, I suppose they're exciting for spectators. From my own personal viewpoint, I don't for me, what I would like to do is try to get a medal at ADCC. Like in my own weight division, I'd like to try to win ADCC at my own weight division. That's my goal. So anything I'm gonna do competition wise is gonna be in the lead up to that and with the attempt to do that. So
Okay.
I can do some super fights in the lead up to that which would be good. There's some matches I think would be really cool. With the aim of preparing me for ADCC.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen Gordon do that on he posts them on Instagram, and like you said, it's something you might not want to try in super fight. It just seems like he's drilling on these guys. You know what I mean? It seems like it's kind of hard to watch. Like if you were, a fan or a friend or a family member of the other guy, and he just, leg dragging you and stopping and leg dragging you again. And, I just have two more questions for you, Lachlan. I'm trying not to take up too much of your time.
Yeah.
As far as MMA, we're mainly an MMA podcast. We're both MMA fans. I'm the only grappler here. As far as transitioning to MMA, let's say, I'm assuming you're not interested, especially, you're a little older now, but let's say, Gordon Ryan's, I think, 24. Let's say he announced he's going to make the move to MMA. We know he's got great back attacks. We know he's got fantastic leg attacks. What do you think he would have to do for preparation? Do you think he would focus a whole lot of time on striking or on takedowns, or what would an approach be to a guy like Gordon or like Craig Jones who pulls guard a lot and looks for those legs? What do you think the right approach would be if they were to make that transition?
Yeah, to be honest, I don't watch enough MMA to have I think I would have to train striking to have like train striking and MMA to have a good opinion on this. So it's just I'll give you my best attempt.
Okay.
But yeah, I think obviously, I think if someone like Craig or Gordon were able to get a hold of anyone to force a grappling exchange, it would probably be the end of the match. You know, like if they could get it to the ground, that's probably over. So the focus should obviously be massively on wrestling and forcing a takedown. How much striking, because obviously if your striking's not threatening, then it's hard to take someone down.
That's true. Absolutely.
So how much focus should be on that? I think, and I'm not sure, but I think I sometimes see some top grapplers end up getting so focused on becoming good strikers that they forget that they're meant to be grapplers in the first place, and they end up doing these. You see them do like a whole 2 or 3 rounds without actually shooting a takedown, and to me that's crazy, you know. So
Romero.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think, I don't know, finding a way to become an excellent striker that's used to set up takedowns, and that would probably be like, I think would be, you know, that would be 70 or 80% of the training should be on that. I think. Yeah.
That's a perfect answer. I would say the same thing. Because Gary Tonin has had quite a bit of success, but he has really good takedowns, though.
Yeah, his takedowns at ADCC, I was very impressed with his wrestling. It's funny because he would have been training for MMA, obviously, you know, most of the time since the previous ADCC to this one, but obviously a lot of his MMA prep has been wrestling, and you could see it's paid off.
Yeah, right.
he was fast. He was and he was fit, and he like had really good combinations and movements. So yeah, that was very impressive.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of his as well. I got one last question for you. It'll be nice and easy. So let's say, well, I'll be selfish. I'll ask for myself. I like gi and no gi a lot. I like them both. I do them both pretty equally. I'm pretty sure all your instructionals are on BJJ Fanatics, but I was going to ask, where are your instructionals, and which one would you recommend if you had to recommend one that was most universal for no gi and gi? What instructional would you recommend of your own, and where can I find it?
All right. So most are on BJJ. Yeah, so I have a lot on BJJ Fanatics. Also got a couple of things on the Grappler's Guide as well. Probably most universal. I've got. It probably depends for people, like the level. I've got an escapes instructional, like a fundamental escapes instructional, which I think is particularly that's kind of, I shot that in gi and no gi. Usually whenever I thought the gi was good or something different would happen in the gi, I'd put the gi on and show like, you know, what I do in that situation. If it was gi, that I think would be very useful for someone who's, you know, if you're getting stuck underneath any, you know, if you find a lot of your rolls you're getting in bad positions, like you're getting your guard passed a lot and you're getting stuck under side control and so on, then I'd say that escapes instructional. In terms of a universal position, otherwise, I've got instructionals on playing and passing half guard. So there's the half guard anthology and the guard passing anthology half guard. Nice. I think they both, half guard is very similar gi and no gi. It's obviously it's a little more difficult in no gi to make it happen. So it's actually taught in no gi, but I think if you can do what I show in no gi, it'll just be easier in the gi. It just becomes a lot easier to do because people can't slip out as much. So for half guard, I think it's quite similar. I think some of the open guard stuff is where it starts to differentiate a lot between gi and no gi. Once you can start holding someone's collar and lapel and collar sleeve at that sort of range, starts to really deviate between those two styles. So I got that. I've got a guard retention instructional, which will be coming out in a couple of months, I think.
Oh, cool.
That will be gi and no gi as well. So that's
perfect.
Good.
There you go. So BJJ Fanatics and Grappler's Guide.
Yes.
All right, buddy. Well, thanks for talking to us. And one last compliment. my favorite guard is single leg X, and it
Oh,
was
nice.
actually
Yeah.
it was
That works
actually
too. Yeah. Yeah.
it was your a video you have on YouTube on from single leg X to get them to the mat to
Yep.
engage and I'm sure you know the video I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Incredible. It helped my single leg X. It made single leg X my favorite guard. Was that video of
Awesome.
yours? So yeah, I want to
Thank
give you
you
that
very
compliment.
Yeah.
No,
Thanks so
no,
much,
thank,
man.
Thank you, man.
Cheers,
So
guys. Thanks for having me on.
see you, buddy. When we post this the podcast, we'll give you a tag in it and stuff. So
Awesome. Yeah. I'll share the link.
Thank
perfect.
you.
Thanks, buddy. Have
Cheers,
a good
guys.
rest of your day,
Have
buddy.
a good day.
All right.
Yeah.
See you guys.
See you,
Wow.
man.
Have a good night.
Thank
That's
you.
right.
Don't get into
See you,
too
Lachlan.
much trouble if you're going
Yeah.
Hey, now we'll do our best with no promises.
out. All right. See you guys.
See you, Lachlan.
Have a good day.
So hopefully everyone enjoyed the interview. Lachlan Giles, super nice dude. Had a lot of fun talking to him. Very humble guy.
Yeah.
It's like he didn't even want to admit like he's one of the best. You know, I was kind of setting him up for a trick question when I asked him, "Who is the best leg locker today?" Of course, he didn't say himself.
Well.
Yeah. I was hoping he'd say, "Well, you know, perhaps me." But
Yeah. No.
yeah, he was leg locking all those dudes in ADCC. So with like he said in the interview, he was setting stuff up different. He had his own method going on where he was doing stuff with the leg lock game that no one was doing at that time. So it worked out. You know, people hadn't seen those setups and stuff before. So yeah, come on, Lachlan, give yourself some credit. If you're not the best leg locker in the game, you're you know, not many guys are ahead of you.
Yeah. Short list.
So, very short list. So, you know, like I said before, leg locks are a lot like sex. Most people think they're better at them than they actually are.
Whoa.
Not. Yes.
Nice.
But anyway, so thanks, Lachlan. That was awesome. Hopefully everyone enjoyed that. So might as well get into the Whittaker versus Till UFC card.
Jeez. Rough card for me. My wallet. Dude, I had a reverse parlay happen to me.
I was just
I
about to say
had
that.
an entire parlay. I got my entire parlay the opposite wrong. Like every fight I picked, the other person won. So if I would have done the reverse of my parlay, I would have won a shitload of money. But
Yeah. And you know what's funny is that
there are a lot of upsets.
I lost you there for a second. What'd you say?
I said there's a lot of upsets.
Yes, there were. Yeah. Well, I mean, might as well go ahead and call you out big time. So
Yeah, whatever.
last episode,
We didn't talk about it on the episode. This was off episode that whenever I started to do my process, I changed my mind a little bit. Maybe you got heated.
Could you turn your camera off and back on? You're lagging bad. No big deal. We can keep talking. Just shut your camera off. We can keep talking. Yeah. So on air last week, we both picked the Scottish phenom Paul Craig, and I was like Craig, and then we were talking about the other guy, and you're like, I don't know, bro, and I was like, yeah, even me during the episode, I was like, yeah, like the more you read about that guy, like I'm starting to get worried. Just stop reading about him. Like I'm going with Craig. I was like, stick with Craig, and you said, all right, I will. And then on Friday night, you were like, dude, first you said, convince me how Paul Craig wins. And I was like, I don't know, I just think he's going to do it. And you were like, yeah, this guy, he's fighting, only loses to big power punchers, and Craig is not one of them, which you're right, he's not. He's a submission guy for sure. And I was like, come on, man, stick to your guns. And
all right, yeah. Well, tell me you weren't worried watching that fight as he was getting his head rained on before he finally synced in that triangle. But
listen, man, if you're engaged in a grappling exchange with Paul Craig, I'm not that worried, bro.
all right, well,
that was
yeah.
the 7th triangle.
Yeah.
He's
You know
pretty
what?
good off his back.
I don't know if you watched any of the prelim. We didn't because we were talking to.
I didn't watch any of them. I was at the lake again.
There was a big in welterweight that Jesse Rosnan versus Nick Dalby or whatever. Rosnan was like pretty heavy underdog, and he got a first round submission too. And he had like lost like every time in the UFC. Like finally, like basically his last shot back and came out and won.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I saw God Mode had him winning, and I was like, what? Like everything I looked about the guy, I was like, what the hell? Like, so he won. And then I think we should go in order. Which like it seems like on MMA or like the Instagram and Twitter sphere, the new star of the UFC, the Chechen Wolf. I'm not gonna forget his name anymore or his nickname anymore.
Dude, after when I was obviously when I was saying it, but when I listened to last week's episode, the whole time, every time I'm like, "Is that the Wolf?" And you're like, "Nope, nope," and I was like, "Damn, someone's the Wolf." It's funny. It's funny to listen back in hindsight. Yeah.
Well, dude, that guy again, man. I mean, to be fair, the guy he fought, like that one meme you sent me, he was like, Dana White, like, what do you do? Oh, I'm a plumber. Oh, you want to fight the Chechen Wolf? Like, dude, whoever Rise McPhee was, like.
I crossed out names. That was supposed to be a Scott Coker thing where he asked someone to fight Michael Venom Page in Bellator because Michael Venom Page is always known for beating up nobodies, but I changed it up to make it funny. Yeah, I mean, this guy is the welterweight Khabib, perhaps.
Well, I mean, last week he went up 15 pounds and beat the shit out of that guy.
Mm-hmm.
And then this week made short work of. I mean, again, this guy was the first time coming to the UFC. Kind of got fed to the dogs, literally.
That guy had dirt on Dana White. I'm telling you. Dana White was like, "Okay, how about this?"
Yeah, he's impressive. I'm really interested to see what happens when he fights someone a little bit higher level.
I seen a crazy stat. It'd be hard to find now, I think, but it was his last two fights combined, and the strikes. It was like strikes absorbed. It was like 2. I think the guy last night hit him twice. I don't think the guy last week hit him at all. And it was like strikes landed like 250.
It's crazy.
Yeah, he's dominating. I mean, and then you look at 170, and the champ is Usman. I mean, that's a stylistic clash right there.
Yeah.
Can he take Usman down? Usman's never been taken down in his MMA career.
I mean, has fought. This is a UFC fight, so like, I think it's not fair to give him a title shot already. I still want to see him fight someone of high caliber.
No,
before I can. Yeah. No, but I just thought it was so funny. The odds on him last night when I last looked, he was minus 1350 favorite. Like, what? That's the highest I think I've ever seen. It's like, oh my god.
Someone was a 1200. I know he was like a 1200 last week, but someone in recent memory was, I think, at 1200. Nunes was a minus 800 against Spencer, I think. Amanda Hebos was. By the way, speaking of Amanda Hebos, I'm starting to get jealous, Alex, because I was on the Hebos train before all this happened, and now, dude, she is blowing up on social media.
Yeah.
Blowing up hardcore. There's a fan page now with like more followers than me that was just invented after her last fight. Bullshit.
Damn.
I hate to be one of those guys, but I'm kind of like, I'm like that hipster guy now. I'm like, I knew about her. Before you did.
Yeah. Dude, I've heard about her forever. Yeah, there's probably guys listening to us that know about that Chechen guy, but I didn't hear anything about him until last week when he just pummeled that dude.
I know.
Who the fuck is that guy?
I don't like to be that guy, but I'm kind of like, ugh. Like, I knew about her.
Yeah.
I knew about her way before she blew up.
And her big old booty. I knew all about it.
She's a good looking gal. She's got that going for her. She's sneaky good looking.
Yeah, and then so we had Chimez. How do you say his name, Gage? Chimez.
Talking about the Wolf?
Yeah.
Dude, come on.
Kamazat.
Probably. I'm not gonna butcher it.
Dude, do you think one rush?
Whatever you just said, you're going to have to re-say it all again. It was all crazy.
I said, do you think like Russian people, when they read like really common American names, like have a shitload of trouble? Like,
No,
Josh,
we're the only dumb ones who can't figure out how to pronounce other shit. I think they got it fine.
Yeah.
I don't know how to say his name. Chimyov? I don't know.
That sounds good.
Good enough. But
Chechen Wolf.
the Chechen Wolf, he's a beast.
Uh,
So
uh,
I did not get to watch the Cowboy Oliveira fight because we were talking to Lachlan Giles, and I didn't go back and watch that one.
I watched the last round.
I heard Oliveira looked really good. I like Cowboy
Yeah.
Oliveira. I heard he looked really good.
Yep. He got the win then, and then it was your boy Paul Craig against
Paul Craig.
another.
His post-fight. Did you hear his post-fight interview?
No.
This post-fight interview was funny. They asked him. They said, man, it's your seventh triangle. You have a pretty good squeeze, don't you? He goes, when you're a brown belt, you know how to finish a triangle. They're like, oh, okay.
Right. How do you feel about this new British guy, the announcer? I don't like him.
Who? I don't know who you're talking about. You're talking about Dan Hardy?
I don't know. Is he British? I didn't care to learn his name.
Dan Hardy's great. Dan Hardy fought in the UFC for a long time.
I hate him.
He was big up and coming. We talked about him with Arnold Allen. He was real big up and coming when he fought GSP, and GSP beat him up, and then kind of fell off. He's got one of the best left hooks of all time.
I don't like his commentating.
You'd know if you've seen him in the cage because he always had like this crazy red mohawk. He looked like a pug rock star.
And now he's a commentator?
I like him. But I like him as a person though, so maybe that's why.
Whatever.
Got a really good left hook. He wants to come back for one more final fight. He's been retired for a while, but
okay.
Yeah, I like Dan Hardy. Sorry, he's not as good as the other British commentator, but
yeah, dude, I just feel like there's one British guy. Okay, like
there's one British guy who's probably the best.
Yeah, like it's just like, all right, we get it.
I see some people, Alex, I know you don't love Bisping like I do, so you can give way more of an unbiased opinion. Some people on Instagram hate on Bisping commentary, and some people really like it. I love it, but I love Bisping. So, what do you think about it?
I like him. I think he does well. And I think he's funny. I do think he's funny.
He's very funny.
I like Paul Felder. I think Paul Felder does a really good job.
I think Paul Felder and Bisping mesh better than they're like the two like lower end guys because DC and Rogan are always going to mesh really well. But they're like the pay-per-view guys. So, but like the lower level guys, I think Paul Felder and Bisping mesh very well.
Yeah, I agree. I like him hard.
Okay, I want to know your opinion because obviously I like Bisping as a person. I think he's funny. I listen to him talk all the time. Listen to his podcast, so I might not give a good analysis. So, but you say you like him commentating, so that's good. So yeah, Paul Craig triangle. Yeah, I told you. You betrayed Paul Craig.
Yeah, well, okay, so we'll move on to the next one where I originally.
Both of us.
Oh, you originally also were going to Esparza, so I guess we can blame it on Travis.
We definitely can blame it on Travis. Because you set up our imaginary parlay on this podcast, and I was like, fuck yeah. We had Esparza, Gustafson, Till, and Paul Craig.
What? Yeah. Damn it.
So.
But yeah, I mean, I thought it was a very close fight. I was actually surprised whenever they were showing. So this is Esparza versus Rodriguez. Yeah.
Rodriguez, come on, man.
Oh yeah, because she's Brazilian. Yeah. Fuck.
Yeah, you need to get on this.
We're getting cultured on this show. Well, good for you.
Hey man, you kept saying Rebus too. It's not that hard to remember. It's like you don't say Royce Gracie.
Well, how am I supposed to assume I don't automatically remember they're Brazilian.
Okay, you get a pass for that. Okay. You get a pass for that. Okay. And then that actually makes sense. Okay.
Anyway.
Rodriguez, go ahead.
Yeah. So I thought it was surprising. I thought she lost the first round. And then like everyone on Twitter was like they, how they always show the like people were all saying that dude, I can't say it with an H. Marina was winning. And then when it went into the third round, we looked at the live the live betting odds, and she was the favorite to win. Still going into the third round.
I think maybe. Go ahead.
I was just like, maybe she will pull this off, but like I was like, honestly, like the way I watched it, I thought she definitely lost one, and I thought that she lost two. Honestly, like.
Really?
As soon as I heard the split decision and I heard the one judge say 27-30, I was like, this is to go into Esparza. Because I judged it 27-30. Even though I had my bet on the other way, I was like, she's like so how can you lay on your back for like what Travis said, how can you lay on your back for 12 minutes and win?
Okay,
like,
you know what? That whole time I thought you were saying you had Rodriguez up too. I was like, what?
No. I had Esparza up too the whole time. That's why I was so shocked by like everyone on the Twitter thing saying like, I have Rodriguez like 10-9, and I was like, really?
Okay,
That's my bet, but like I don't think I watched that.
Here's how they could have gave the first round to Rodriguez, because when Esparza took her down, she didn't really do any damage, but position definitely counts, so she's on top. Rodriguez landed big elbows from the bottom and split open Esparza's eye. And then Esparza sat back for the straight ankle lock. Rodriguez came on top and landed some vicious ground and pound. And then they both got to their feet, and then the bell rang. So Esparza definitely got the takedown. B had most of the round on top, landing some shots. Rodriguez, I thought, landed the better shots from bottom. And then that last minute, she had a ferocious ground and pound. So I was like, maybe they'll give that to her, but I was not confident.
In round two, I thought she went for that leg lock and then just got fucking her face bashed in.
She did, but I also thought she was going to get her foot broken. That looked tight.
Yeah. So yeah, that was a close one. As far as the take, she has the most takedowns in women's history. Just keeps adding to it.
I know.
Did it again.
She surpassed my girl, Claudia Gadelia.
Mm. So yeah, that was a good fight. Again, disappointing for my wallet.
Yeah.
Because whenever I lost against Paul Craig, I resubmitted my parlay and then fucking lost again. Not like it would have mattered. But
yeah,
especially after the next one, which I was very surprised.
Yeah, I was surprised like you were, but I guess we really shouldn't be. I was basing my strong opinion of Gustafsson Gustafsson's really good, but I was basing it off of Verdum looked so bad against Alexio Oleinik.
Yeah, which is maybe we should give Oleinik more credit.
We have to. We definitely have to.
Who did he just upset again?
Oleinik?
Yeah, he just
Verdum.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, duh.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was so high on Verdum then. I'm like, Verdum's gonna walk through him. We both were like that. We called Tom. Shout out to Tom from God Mode. Called his bot foolish. We were like, dude, how can you pick Oleinik?
Yeah.
And then, but Verdum's just a stud. He's a stud. He's just old. And it was Gustafsson's first fight at heavyweight. And I was hearing some people talk. I think it was in Tom's group chat. Apparently, I guess if you have to show me the numbers because I can't think off the top of my head. Apparently, a trend is when guys' first fight at heavyweight does not go well. They usually lose.
Yeah, I saw that one meme that you sent or whatever with Homer Simpson. That was pretty funny. But him walking in the bar, what?
That was an old guy. Does Homer Simpson get old in the show? I've never watched it.
It's his dad. Sorry, it's The Simpsons. It's Homer Simpson's dad.
Yeah, I never watched the show. I wasn't trying to be an asshole. I didn't know if he got older.
No, yeah, it's his dad where he walks in the bar, takes his hat off, and walks back out. Puts it back on, walks back out. Yeah.
It said Gustafsson's trip to heavyweight or something like that.
Yeah. So that was a shocker. I'm sure that busted a shitload of people who had parlays.
Yeah.
So
Alex, can you pull this up? Was Gus?
Yeah.
I think Gus's last fight was when Anthony Smith choked him unconscious, I think, and then he said he retired, and this is his first fight back. So that's
Yeah,
not
dude,
good.
he is on a 3-fight losing streak since John
John
Jones,
Jones.
Anthony Smith, and now Verdum.
Yeah, I mean, Verdum's a super, 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 super high level black belt, former champion, ADCC champion. As far as his grappling credentials go, former UFC champion. Yeah, he's old, but we shouldn't be surprised. I guess he's a stud. He looked bad against Olynyk.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a tough one. I mean, your first fight heavyweights against a former champion, even though he's old. Tough one for Gustafsson.
Yeah, I mean, he's 42, so
Yeah.
still getting up there. And then we
I'm gonna be completely
moved to
honest.
2 real old guys in the
Yeah.
co-main event.
I gotta be honest. I don't care that much about it.
Yeah, I know. It doesn't have any ramifications at all. So
Yeah, it was
it's
like
not like they're moving up. It's not like Shogun's moving up. Like,
it just seemed like it wasn't even that. It wasn't even like a clean fight. I thought they looked kind of sloppy.
I thought. Well, I mean, I thought it was an exciting fight.
It was
there were some
fun,
nice
but
exchanges.
they just looked old and sloppy.
I thought it could have went either way. Honestly, I thought it was pretty close.
My friend Justin thought it was a robbery. He thought Nogueira should have won.
Yeah,
I
thought I could have definitely seen Nogueira win.
I didn't watch close enough to give an opinion.
Yeah.
Sadly, but anyways, congrats to Shogun. Now you've beaten that guy 3 times in the last 75 years.
Yeah, in the last 15 years.
There you go. So congrats to him, and even if it was a robbery, good job. I think Nogueira had mentioned it was going to be his last fight anyway, so I guess it'd be nice to go out on a win, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean, well, technically, I mean, Shogun is 3 years younger than Verdum, so it's only 38.
Verdum or Nogueira?
Nogueira. Well, I'm saying Nogueira was like 44, but Verdum who just won, he's 42.
That's true. Yeah. So yeah, they definitely still do it. They can definitely still do it. It's just a matter of wanting to.
Yeah, and like your brain cells and all that.
Yeah, for sure.
And then
sure.
we get to the main event, which I thought was
fight.
It was a great fight. I mean,
yeah.
I had it 2-2 going into the 5th. I thought it was even. I thought Till definitely took round 1. Till definitely took round 3, or round 4.
I don't remember which one. I had it 2-2 as well. I don't remember what if I gave him 3 or 4. I think 4. Right?
4 was when he had that like really good combo. That was like kind of the only thing that really happened in the room.
Oh, kind of. It looked like it. Yeah. Well, I thought he was going to sit Whittaker down with that.
Yeah.
That was the 4th round. Okay. Yeah, I had it that way too. First round was pretty close. I gave it to Till. I thought he did more. Second round, Whittaker dominated. Not enough to make it a 10-8, so I didn't score a 10-8, but very, very clearly Whittaker. And then 3 and 4 were close for sure. I think you're right. I think 3 for Whittaker and then 4 for Till. And then here's where it gets a little dicey, because I think Till won the first half of the 5th round.
Yeah, this is where this the whole thing we were talking about with like what does a takedown mean? Because I mean technically Whittaker, I know, which pisses me off at the end of the fight, like when he like that was as soon as Whittaker got that takedown, I was like, motherfucker, like that is what's gonna win it.
Yep, and he got 2 of them as well.
Yeah,
but you know what? Because like I can see an argument. I think you're right, because I think I've heard John McCarthy say it, and he likes to let everyone know, and he's right that he wrote the rules, which he did. I'm pretty sure that the scoring criteria is unless you do something with a takeout, it doesn't count. I don't like that. I know this disagrees with you, but I mean, especially you as a wrestler.
I am on the platform. You got to do something with it.
But it's so. I mean, you wrestled. It's so hard to take someone down.
Yeah, no.
I think it should be worth something. You think I couldn't go in there and take Darren Till down? No chance. And Whittaker did it twice. I think that's worth something.
Yeah.
I mean, in wrestling, even if they get back up, you still get points for it.
Well, like I like John McCarthy the way he explains it. He's like, it's just a change of position. it doesn't really mean anything.
I mean,
But
yeah,
it's hard
I mean,
to
I
do.
get it.
So, yeah.
That's why that's what gets me, because I'm like,
Yeah.
that's
And you're exerting
hard.
energy to do it.
Yeah, I don't think Darren Till's an easy guy to take down. And if you can do it twice, I think it should be worth something. I had Whittaker. Wow, I think I did that last week too.
You had Whittaker?
I think I did that last week too. I think I had Whittaker win the last one as well. I know I texted you Till, but I was just like crossing my fingers because I bet.
Yeah,
Well, actually,
I bet fucking Till. I bet Till by decision.
You bet Till by decision.
So I would have
didn't.
won all my money back if it would have won.
I won. All the memes online were true though, like the sad memes of like knowing one of them has to lose because everyone likes both guys.
Yeah.
Whittaker's a super nice dude. Till's a real funny dude. They both had really good spirits going into it. They were cracking jokes with each other. It's been going around for a long time. So yeah, I mean, it sucks that either guy had to lose because they're both so cool. But I wanted Till to win. I'm more of a Till fan, but yeah, I think the decision was right, and all judges scored it the same way we did, 3-2 for Whittaker. I thought they got it right. I think that the judges got it. The judges were pretty good last night, were they not?
Yeah, I mean, honestly,
there was no crazy controversy, was there?
Well, I mean, you said maybe no Guerra or whatever, but
yeah, that's true.
No one cares about that one, so.
I didn't watch it enough to really score it.
Yeah, but besides that, I didn't see anything insane.
No, I like 3-2 Whittaker. I scored it. I would have scored it the same way for sure. But it was a really, really fun fight, I thought.
Yeah.
But now what do you do with Whittaker? Because I was talking yesterday about this. If Till won, I think he'd get the next title shot. Does Whittaker deserve? I mean, I know it sounds shitty, but to just win one and then get right back to the title, or does he need another one? Because he got knocked out clean against Adesanya. Maybe if Costa wins, Whittaker-Costa makes sense. But if Adesanya beats Costa, which I think he will, I guess that's a future thing we'll talk about. I think that's September. I think Adesanya wins. It's hard to sell Whittaker versus Adesanya again. Adesanya made Whittaker look pretty bad. Knocked him out clean in the second round. Really knocked him out in the first round with the bell rung. Hard to sell, I think. I think that'd be hard. I think Whittaker goes in a really close fight, wins a decision against Darren Till, second fight at middleweight, and then gets right back at Adesanya if Adesanya wins for the belt. I think that's a hard sell.
Now, what about what you sent me? Is it true Darren Till tore his ACL? The whole
Travis
fight?
sent you that. I didn't read it too much into it. Why don't you look it up real quick? Because that's kind of an MMA news thing. I think he said that. I don't know if we got any confirmation. He said, I don't know if you heard, he said to his corner after he said I can't put any weight on my foot. You know what I mean? He stopped throwing that left high kick. I think he couldn't put all his weight on his lead right foot. All his lead right foot.
He's having surgery on his knee.
There you go. He's a warrior, man. Tough son of a bitch.
Yeah. So
it was a good fight. Not good for our bets, but good fight. Good fights all around, really. Certainly the main event was a good fight. I thought Rodriguez and Esparza was a great fight. They were going crazy at times. Let's run through next week's card real quick if you want.
Okay. The other thing that I guess we should mention, I watched Bellator. Wasn't bad.
I didn't hear what you said.
I'm pulling this up.
I
said I watched Bellator the other day.
Yeah.
Just bring this up quickly as I'm,
I like Bellator.
Wasn't too bad.
I like Bellator. I just don't know the
I couldn't tell you any of the fighters or the significant.
No, me neither. I can tell you some of them. Like, they have some guys that could compete in the UFC. Patricio Pitbull could fight in the UFC for sure at 145. Joe Rogan thinks Douglas Lima could beat Usman and be the champion. Their 170-pound champion, super good. Michael Venom Page, super good, karate style dude. Fights cans all the time, but whatever.
Yeah. All right.
I don't know the fighters, but I like Bellator. I think it's a pretty.
When it's on for free, I'll watch it.
They're always free. I don't think they have pay-per-views.
They used to have pay-per-views. They not do it anymore?
I don't think so.
Oh, cool. Well,
Sorry.
I got Paramount channel.
Sorry to the Bellator fans if that's wrong. I don't think they have pay-per-view. Maybe they do. So sorry if they do, and I can get it wrong.
All right, so
I don't have cable, so I stream all the fights anyways. So I don't know if it was free or paid for, I'd watch it the same way. So
yeah,
I'm the wrong guy to ask.
yeah. So August 1st, Saturday, main card is Derek Brunson versus Edmund Shabazzian.
Good luck with that one.
Sounds good.
Shabazzian. I don't know.
Dude, you know what I did see in this card? You know who's fucking fighting again?
Who?
Ray Borg.
Is he?
Yeah.
Well, he pulled out of his last one, right?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Because we were commenting like, Jesus Christ, like he's fighting. This guy doesn't stop. Oh, you know what, dude? That co-main's nice. Joanne Calderwood versus Jennifer Maya. That's a fun co-main. Calderwood's a beast. I think she's Scottish.
Yeah, so the guy Brunson's fighting though. I was looking him up. Let's run through it. So Kevin Holland, Trevin Giles, Bobby Green, Lando Veneta
probably.
Oh wow, way off.
Oh, Vicente Luque.
Yeah,
Nice.
Vicente Luque, Randy Brown.
Luque. I like Luque.
Yeah, okay. Calderwood, Maya, and then so the guy, the Edmund guy at Brunson fighting is 11-0. Right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and his record is pretty crazy. So he has like 9 knockouts. So he's 11-0, 9 by knockout, 1 by submission, 1 decision. His past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All of his knockouts are in the first round except that decision.
Jesus.
Yeah.
What round was his sub in? The
first round. He has all first round finishes except his decision win.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Who was his last fight?
Brad Tavers.
Okay, fight before that.
Jack Marshman.
And before that?
Charles Byrd.
How many have been in the UFC?
The last 3.
Okay.
And then his split decision was against Darren Stewart in The Ultimate Fighter.
So he hasn't fought anyone real tough yet. Brunson's pretty fucking tough.
Yeah, no, he's definitely fought. Like I saw Bryson. He's fought like the tops of the division. I think he has losses to like. Let's see where the lose to. Yeah, so Brunson he got knocked out by Adesanya.
Mm-hmm.
Lost to Anderson Silva. Got TKO'd by Robert Whittaker. Beat Uriah Hall.
Beat Uriah Hall. That's impressive.
Got TKO'd by Yoel. Yeah. His last win was against Ian Heinisch.
Beat Ian Heinisch.
Yeah, Heinisch.
I like Ian Heinisch. He likes a picture on Instagram.
Yeah,
Talk about him.
That was his last win.
Yeah, Brunson's fought the who's who for sure.
Yeah, so experienced guy to see if this dude's the real deal.
But remember, Alex, fuck Derek Bronson.
Why?
Derek Bronson has that fake bot who watches your stories, bro.
What?
He be fake watching my Instagram.
He watches my stories?
Stories. Instagram stories.
Why would he have a bot?
I don't know why he has a bot, but he randomly watches people who do MMA stuff. He watches one of their Instagram stories.
Have you confirmed this with other people?
I was the one. Yeah, I got called out like an idiot because I'm like, Derek Brunson, why are you watching my stories and not following me? I made a post about it. And I got lit up in the comments like, dude, everyone knows Brunson has a bot that watches people's stories.
No, dude, I didn't know that.
Well, everyone else did.
Now everyone knows if you have an MMA page.
And then we called out Alexander Hernandez, that dork. Fucking, he has the same
thing.
Does
he have a bot too? How does that possibly help them? Are they looking for their name?
It certainly helps them because it worked on me twice. I'm like, hey, they're looking at my stories. I'm not even following them. I'll give them a follow. That's what it is.
Fucking tricky.
Yeah, I wasn't following Derek Brunson. I'm like, hey, he watched one of my stories, and I followed him. And then he didn't follow me back, and I made a post. I'm like, hey, man, you watch my stories. I followed you. Why don't you follow me? You watch my stories all the time.
And then you just got lit up by the internet.
Yes. And then when we did predictions on Drew Dober versus Alexander Hernandez, I was like, he watched one of my stories once. And then Tom from Godmode messaged me. He's like, hey, man, Alexander Hernandez has
Hey man, you look like an idiot.
Has one of those story watching bots.
Oh, well, yeah, well, fuck him then.
Yeah, fuck him. Watch my stories, you
Yeah.
fuck. Yeah. I hope this white guy with a name that does not match how he looks. I hope he can figure that out. Is he from America?
Who?
Edmund?
I did not. Yeah, I think he's from California.
It's a funky last name.
California.
What's up with that last name? Where's that from?
I don't know. Maybe.
Yes. That's a hard one. Shabazian. Is he fucking Albanian or something?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, he's Armenian.
Okay, well, they both start with letter A. I was close enough.
He's only 22, born in 97.
Weird.
Yeah, that is weird.
Okay, super weird. Strange times.
Young buck.
Yeah. Well, I mean, shit. Wasn't your girlfriend born like 99?
What? No.
Wasn't your? She said it on the podcast.
I don't know.
I forgot what.
I don't remember.
You don't know what year she was born in. You just don't want to say it.
I just don't want to say. Don't worry about it, bro.
It's not like she's illegal.
Oh, dude, why are you even bringing that up, bro? I just watched Starlight or Spotlight.
Oh, she's about 20 years too young and the wrong sex.
Yeah. Dude, I disagree with you. I thought it was a great movie.
It's a good movie. Like, if that did not win Best Picture, I'd watch it and go, that's a good movie.
Oh, you're just mad because it won Best Picture?
Best Picture. That means, in case you don't know, that means Best Motion Picture, Best Movie of the Year. It's the most prestigious.
Well, in 2015, what was better?
Mad Max! You kidding me?
No, dude, that is not a Best Picture worthy movie.
Definitely.
Just because you have a hard-on for Tom Hardy doesn't mean he was that good in Mad Max.
Dude, you're crazy.
No,
that movie should have won. Definitely should have won Best Picture.
Okay.
I think it had most Oscars in general.
Yeah, it could win like all the Oscars for like special effects and shit, but not story.
Dude, it's not story. If you want to go story, give Spotlight Best Screenplay. Go ahead. That's story. Couldn't give a fuck about the whole production of the movie. Get the fuck out of here.
All right.
Best Picture?
Take your movie critic hat off.
Best Picture? Come on, man. Dude, Mad Max, Fury Road for Best Picture.
Dude, in 2015, it didn't even win Best Picture. Fucking Birdman won.
What year did Spotlight win it then? Also, I didn't like that Best Picture winner either.
I didn't like Birdman. Yeah. 2015 is when it was made, so I don't know when it.
Spotlight? Look up. Yeah. Okay.
Maybe it didn't win any awards. You're just a fuck.
No, it wasn't Best Picture. I'm pretty sure it won Best Picture. We also need to talk about Tri-Guardian Oil. Tri-Guardian Oil. The product is called Guardian Oil. It is a post-training spray. They say you can spray it on pre-training. I've yet to try that, but they say you can spray it on pre-training. Makes your skin just clean yourself before you get on the mats. You know, a lot of times you bring in gross stuff on the mats. That's why they get gross in the first place. So no harm, no foul. Why not clean yourself before and after you get on the mats? And there's no better way to do it than use Guardian Oil. It's very reasonably priced. It's very popular. They have a lot of people, including us, praising it. You need to get on it. It's the best thing, especially if you're traveling to compete. I like to travel to compete. I'm not going to bring a shower bag like I'm in high school football. I'll spray some shit on me when I'm done competing and I'll drive home. No big deal. It'll hold you off, kill all the germs till you get to the shower. Great for travel. It comes in a small bottle. You can bring it anywhere with you. It's probably good for any sort of cleaning. You know, if you have something going on, even if you're not training, got something, you need to wash your hands real quick. There's no sink around. Guardian Oil, so it'll sanitize your hands, make them soft, healthy, and clean until you can get to a sink. And the benefits, it's all natural and essential oils. Prevents against, of course, the mat terrors, such as staph, ringworm, all that good stuff, even acne. So, and jock itch, which we like to call around here crotch rot.
Yep.
Sounds funnier, sounds grosser, and it's something fun you can talk about and not get if you use Guardian Oil. So, boom, you can find them on Instagram at Try Guardian Oil, and the website is tryguardianoil.com. So don't miss out. I want to look this up better than you because I've done this a million times.
Yeah, you know all the places to go.
Yes. Like I said last episode, movies. If I didn't have MMA, movies would be my next thing. Dude, it won Best Picture. What the fuck are you talking about?
Well, when I Google Best Picture of 2015, it comes up
2016, it won Best Picture.
Oh.
So okay. So listen. So here's where you're getting confused. And again, like I said, I've done this 1,000 times. That's why. Because the award is 2016, but the movie came out in 2015. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? So, like, you know what I'm saying?
Damn, it beat The Revenant, too. It beat The Martian.
The Martian! Great fucking movie. We saw that the night before my wife went in the hospital to get induced for Jake. The Martian.
Wow.
Holds a special place in my heart.
Yeah. Sorry.
What happened?
You gonna talk about your baby?
No, I was just saying, like we were going to go to the hospital, and like it was a plan. Like she had to get induced to have the baby, and we had it out. And I'm like, this is our last chance to go see a movie. We're about to have a baby, and we went into the movies that night, and we watched The Martian.
Yeah. I will say though, so like back to like fighting.
All should have won over Spotlight.
Okay. As much as next week's not that great, the next week though they've announced almost the full card for UFC 252.
Is that the Stipe DC trilogy?
Yeah.
Okay.
The whole card looks damn good.
Let me pull it up.
Stipe Cormier, Junior Dos Santos versus Rosenstrike.
Oh shit! Barn burner.
Ion Katabla versus
you always fuck the
Magomed.
name up. You always fuck the name. Kutalable.
Yeah, him versus Magmanon Alcalavi.
What the fuck? Kutalabe.
Pedro Munez versus Frankie Edgar. Sean O'Malley versus Marlon Vera.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah.
It won't show me the prelims yet, but that's the main card.
That's a good main card.
Yeah, that's a pretty sweet main card.
Hard to pick some of these fucking fights.
Yeah, damn, that's going to be
really hard to pick.
Lean heavy on the bot there.
Yeah, well, I like DC in the trilogy. I do.
I do too.
And I think is this Apex? This is Apex.
Yeah, UFC.
So smaller cage, significantly
Wrestlers
smaller.
do better. It's smaller.
Wrestlers do better. Yep. Wrestlers do better. Cormier, if you remember the rematch, the first round looked devastating for Stipe. Cormier slammed him and fucking went crazy, and then he just stopped wrestling. And looked better on the feet the second round, maybe even third round, and then that fourth round, Stipe just came with those liver shots and put him out. And then what did DC say right after? My coaches kept telling me to wrestle, and I didn't listen to him. He said, "I'll be wrestling this time," and I think he will. I think
even though I've never been a big DC fan, I think. And from all the shit I've read about Stipe, like not training during COVID, like what?
I like Stipe. Come on now, he's a Buckeye.
I don't care. It's stupid.
He's a Buckeye. He's a fucking firefighter. How can you hate on a guy champion of the world and still fights fire? It's just crazy.
I mean, that's cool enough. I'm just saying, I thought it was dumb that he was like, I can't find anywhere to train. I was like, dude, you're the heavyweight champion. How do you not have a fucking gym?
Yeah, you could find people. He could find people. I think he did. Okay, so here's where I'm going to disagree with you strongly. I think I talked about this before. I think he was saying that because he didn't want anyone to know he was having some eye problems.
Oh, you think it was a cover up?
Yeah, that's exactly what I think. I think he couldn't fight. I think he had to do a minor surgery on his eye. Rogan was talking about this. But I don't think that's something he really wanted to make public. You know what I mean? As far as commissions and stuff go, doctors, you know what I mean? So I think he was saying that stuff because he knew he couldn't fight until his eye got healed up. You know what I mean? That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I
So
love. Have you heard him talk? Everyone, he's like a more of a mush mouth than I am. I think I'm a mush mouth. He talks a million mile an hour. No one can understand him. They're so hilarious memes of Stipe, like Stipe talking.
So have you heard these things about UFC 14 at Fight Island? Something about Herb Dean and Dan Hardy.
Yeah. A lot of videos on Instagram. Oh, it's all the same video. Because one of the 5 things in the prelims, some dude got knocked out and
Yeah,
he was
Tanner
laying there
Bosner.
like half covering up, and Herb wasn't stopping it. He like made sure the guy landed a few more strikes. And Dan Hardy was screaming, "Stop the fight!" You know, especially in a no crowd arena.
Yeah, this makes me not like him even more. So now it's settled.
Okay, I'll tell you what.
What? Nope.
So, anyways,
I'm Team Herb.
well, they had an exchange. It's on Instagram. They had an exchange afterwards where he was like, "That's 2 times now, whatever." And Herb Dean was like, "Hey, man, like you do your job, I'll do mine." You know what I mean?
It's exactly.
All right, then I'll tell you what. Do me at least this favor.
Yeah.
Okay. Go to Dan Hardy's Instagram and read his statement, and then see. Maybe you'll still be on your side, but you got to at least hear both sides.
Nope.
Go to Dan.
I'm gonna stay that I read one article and I've made my mind up.
Read what he had to say.
Where do I have
Come
to go
on.
on fucking Instagram? That's a whole extra page.
Well, you know what? Everything's on Instagram, all right? You need to figure it out. Come on, dude. You gotta read it.
Dan Hardy statement. I hope it comes up.
It'll just be on his Instagram, dude.
Dude, I don't want to give him the satisfaction of me looking at his Instagram.
Okay.
All right, I found an article about it. Okay, so
All right.
see what he said here.
Read it out loud so the people can hear it. This is MMA news.
I love mixed martial arts. La 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 la. Dude, it's a lot. I don't think anyone wants to read this shit. I'm bored already.
Okay. I see where he's coming from.
Dude, who is this guy? Like, I thought he was gonna be arguing that he stopped the fight too quick. So that it's not that, I don't. It's a rarity I ever hear people bitch about that. So.
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. After I saw the clip, I agree with him. The dude was basically knocked out cold, and the other guy was just standing over top of him, looking at Herb Dean, like, "Are you gonna stop it?" And Herb Dean was standing there, and he made the guy like land extra blows before he stopped it, which is, I think everyone there knew like it was over. But whatever. You are entitled to your opinion.
Yep, my opinion hasn't changed.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's see what else we got here on
the news.
Gustafson issues his statement. I don't care what he has to say.
No, it wasn't very good.
What the fuck? Yeah, everything's about Herb Dean.
Okay.
Mike Perry wants to train with Yoel Romero.
Don't care.
Yeah.
I think he did. I think they did train together. I think I saw a picture.
Yeah, there's not a lot. Everything's about Herb Dean. It's like every article I've fucking seen.
Okay. Maybe there's not a lot of news then.
So it's just a lot of news. Not a lot of news, you know?
Not a lot of news. Adesanya Costa is official. I don't want to talk about that.
That's pretty cool.
That is cool. I think it's September.
I'm gonna bet Costa.
You're crazy. They're
I
taking
just don't
over.
like Adesanya. He annoys me.
Okay.
I think he's weird. It's super weird.
Why is it super weird?
Crying about his cat, the dancing. He's just a weird guy. I don't like. He seems very strange.
Okay.
I like my UFC champions to be bros.
He's a star.
I didn't.
If he's not the biggest star in the UFC, he's right behind Adesanya. Or sorry, right behind Masvidal.
Really?
Definitely. I predicted he was going to be on the cover of UFC 4, and he is.
That's because you were like petitioning it secretly.
It's him and Masvidal, actually. He's a draw, dude. He's a draw. Maybe people like the weird except you. I don't think he's weird. I didn't know where you're getting on that from.
Dude, watch his post-fight interview, against Yoel Romero. I was like, what the hell?
I don't think he's that weird, man.
Dude, he started talking about his cat in the middle of the interview and then started like crying about it.
Yeah, it's his cat. What's wrong with that, dude?
All right, man. I mean, I just don't know too many people that get teared up about a cat after they just won the championship of the world.
Tell you what, post on Twitter. Post on Twitter how many people ever cried losing a cat. I bet you get substantial results.
Yeah, I bought a bunch of lonely old ladies.
And apparently UFC champions.
Yeah, all right.
Whatever. You don't have to like him. I don't give a shit. All right. Cool. I got $50 against Travis on that one. So if you want to join,
yeah, good. I'm gonna be on. I'm Paulo. I'm Team Paulo. He's good looking. Let's go.
You think Adesanya's weird? Did you see that last with the fucking last fight where he had the lipstick on and the funky dress shirt on? It looked like he was 700 pounds.
Yeah, I like that. That's my kind of weird.
This dude literally had lipstick on. What the fuck? Look, all right, before, end on that. Google Paulo Costa lipstick.
Okay.
Because it is so strange. He looks so fat.
I bet he looks good too.
Dude, come on. I mean, he's definitely a good-looking dude, but not that nice. Jesus Christ.
Lipstick?
Jesus Christ. And it looks like he's 400 pounds.
Oh, fuck. Yeah. Okay. He does look weird.
Why is he wearing lipstick?
Why does he look so big? He looks so much bigger.
So fat.
Dude, maybe his lips were just like really chapped.
He looked so fat, didn't he?
Dude, he does. He does not look. Holy shit. And then there's like a photo of him fucking. He looks like a different person. Oh my god.
I know. He doesn't look like.
The photos I'm looking at is like him sitting there kind of fat, and then the next one down is him like weighing in, flexing. I'm like, Jesus. It's like two different people.
Yeah, I remember. Bisping talked about it in his podcast. Everyone was talking about it, but he goes, Bisping goes, because that was during a fight. It was during one of the cards. And Bisping goes, I saw Paulo Costa last night. He goes, good God, I don't know how that guy's ever going to make 185 again. He looked like he was about 250.
Going to Brazilian steakhouses, bro.
Well, that was after he had bicep surgery, so he probably couldn't work out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when you're that big and that strong, you're probably taking a lot of food. He probably didn't change his diet, but also was not burning anything, is my guess.
Yeah. I've seen Travis, bro.
I've seen him recently, though. He's back in shape for sure.
All right.
But whatever. I guess that's everything, huh?
Yeah. Fun episode. Thank you again to Lachlan
Giles. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Good interview. Hopefully everyone enjoyed. Shout out to Sean from Schismatic Industries. I thought you did well in your match, buddy. I really do. Especially that high level of guy. Apparently took the fight on a 1 week's notice. So, what do you do? I thought he looked good. His side control escapes was like super impressive, and then he escaped that mount right into that leg exchange. I thought it looked good. I don't think there's anything to be ashamed of at all. So shout out to him in that match. Next week we also have Who's Number One. You got Gordon Ryan, all the Danaher guys, dude. Gordon Ryan is the main event. You got I think Gary Tonon's on there, and Craig Jones is on there. The last three matches, so I'll be watching that for sure. Maybe and con you into watching it too.
We'll see.
Yeah, I think it's Friday night. Wait, no, it's the 25th. No, it's not. It's the 31st. That's what it is. Never mind. It's my wedding anniversary.
Oh.
5 years.
Go buy flowers.
5 years, my friend.
Jeez.
No, isn't that weird to say?
It's real weird.
Super weird. Very strange. I was a mere child.
Now you're a man.
I'm a man. Yeah, I could barely drink. I feel like. No, I just turned. No, wait. Let me see.
You're 22.
Yeah, well, when we started dating, I was 21. But whatever. Or was
All
I
right.
20? No, I was 21. Okay.
Yeah, I remember you took me to that bar that served me underage.
Yeah, that was when I was 21. Yeah.
Yeah.
Back when I lived with Michael.
Yeah.
How long did you stay with us?
Week.
And why did you stay with us? I don't even remember.
Cause
Just because?
it was my spring break.
That was the days back then.
Yeah.
You stayed with me for a week? I don't even remember that.
It might have been a weekend. It was definitely like 3 or 4 days.
Was it?
Yeah.
Did we have fun?
It was St. Patrick's Day.
I remember that day.
Yeah.
But it's so funny because I only
Yeah, it
remember
would have been
that.
my spring break. That's why I was up.
Okay. And what do we do besides that?
You took me on your ship.
Oh, I did?
Yeah.
Shout out to the USS San Antonio. Fuck that place.
You're like, all right, we're going into this room, but like, if you see anyone, like, we got to run out of here because you're not supposed to be in here. Like,
Where was I?
I don't know. You're like, all right, we're gonna go in here. We're gonna check. I'm gonna check first to see who's up here and see if they're an asshole or not. And then
I have no idea where that could have even been.
it was like the navigation room or something.
Oh shit. Okay. Oh, I probably put you in combat. That's probably what it was. Was that an OS back then? You probably don't have any idea.
Sure.
I didn't know if I had my actual job yet, or if I was still in deck department. Whatever. Yeah, if it was that room, it's probably combat. Anyways, yeah, I'm sure. Hopefully, we had a good time.
Yeah.
My memory sucks after like 48 hours.
Yeah.
And really, really old stuff. Like, I
Yeah.
remember like shit from like high school or something. But if it's like a year ago, I'm like foggy.
Yeah.
Maybe 5 years from now, I'll remember the stuff from a year ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. All right, well, that's everything. Peace out, fools.
See ya.
Love you. Wash
Oh,
your
yeah.
hands.
Yeah. Bye.
Peace.